Good afternoon and hello world. I'm Maya Sundermeyer and I would like to welcome you to the latest episode of my vlog series. So far I have been able to share my own experiences on what it's like for me to live with Aspergers syndrome. A second thing that I will do is give my 2 cents on what's going on with autism in the media. A third area entails providing tips and advice for those of you that are on the autism spectrum. I also reach out to friends, family members, peers, mentors, educators, employers, and anybody that is inside the autism community. And finally, I will cover topics on things that I'm passionate about. But before I dive into this afternoon's topic, I have a few things to mention. So, number one, I am not going to be cross-promoting any other video blogs today because this is a very, very serious topic and I would like to get right down to it. And a second thing I would like to mention though is I have a series of written blogs on wordpress.com that are scholarly and practical application. And I'd also like to recommend that you check out my social media pages as well. But anyway, what I would like to do is a double thing. Number one, give my 2 cents on what's been going on with autism in the media. A second thing would be to give tips and advice out there to everybody in the autism community because, again, this is a very serious topic. And I wanted to talk about something because I thought it was important and I think that it's valuable for you to hear this. So I had recently gone online on Facebook this morning and I'm part of an online Asperger support group and parents and adults alike can be on here. And one mother was on there talking about how she had lost her son. So I decided to read a little further down and I noticed that she talked about how her son was involved with what appeared to be an online support where these people were posing to be his friends, and they convinced him to believe that he was not a human being, but he was simply a being from another dimension. And these were people that were involved with spells and curses and ghosts and anything with the occult. Or, I don't really want to say that, but that's what it sounds like. But what they basically did to him is they got him to believe that he didn't belong on planet Earth and he didn't belong with other people because he was unique and because he was from a different dimension. And they basically drove him to depression and they took advantage of him and they drove him to suicide. And this was somebody who was on the spectrum like myself, and he was independent. He was also a researcher. And I wanted to mention that there's a second really dangerous game out there called the Blue Whale game, where this sick man who is now in jail in Russia has been targeting vulnerable and lonely and depressed females into playing what is known as the Blue Whale game. And he requires him to do all kinds of horrible things in a certain amount of numbers, like 50 or so. And when they get to number 1, they're required to commit suicide. And I just wanted to reach out to those of you on the spectrum and those of you who support the autism communities and say that if you see anybody involved with these games, I would advise you to shut it down immediately, and I would encourage you to seek any form of therapeutical or medical attention, and perhaps look at calling a suicide hotline, because these groups are not only toxic, they are dangerous, and in a way, they are there to murder you. And I wanted to mention that. And then for those of you that run these support groups and that are teachers and are employers, I would advise you to pay very close attention to the behavior, but I would also advise you to pull these individuals on the autism spectrum to the side and tell them, hey, I know what it's like to be different, but I'm going to talk about these groups and I want you to see what they did to this young man, and I want you to see this Blue Whale game so that they become aware of it and that they become aware of suicide hotlines groups or places that they could go and seek the therapy. Like in my case, I would suggest that you guys go online to 7cupsoftea.com because they have trained listeners who you can talk to on a regular basis, and they also have a series of self-help guides and all kinds of online chat groups where people are going to bring you up. So yeah, but anyway, I'm out of time for now. Please be sure to be aware of these kind of situations, because again, they're dangerous and they're there to purposely murder you and take advantage of you, because there's sick people out there that like to pry on the gullible. And no, we aren't gullible. I wanted to say that you're different but not less, and don't ever think that you don't belong here on earth. Your job is to build inclusion, and your job is to fight for those rights, and your job is to educate other people, not try to leave it because you feel sad. So anyway, again, I'm out of time. If you like what I'm doing, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Also note that I post videos every single Monday, and also be sure to comment below and share this with your autism communities. Until next time, I'm Maya Sundermeyer, and I'm signing off now. Bye.